In the quaint town of Tarascon, France, in the year 1956, a young boy heads to the local church for his daily tasks under the guidance of Father Noir. As boy descends to the church's lower level, a sudden noise shatters the silence, followed by the violent crash of breaking glass. Alarmed, he hurries back to find Father Noir. Together, they cautiously approach the altar, their footsteps echoing in the hushed space, but before their eyes, an inexplicable force propels Father Noir into the air, engulfing him in flames. Shocked and terrified, young boy flees from the church, leaving behind the scene of horror as the sinister spirit of Valak descends upon them. In the serene landscapes of Italy, Sister Irene finds herself entwined in a new chapter, having left behind the haunting memories of her encounter with Valak. Within the confines of her new community, she forms a bond with Sister Deborah, a spirited young nun known for her defiance against the established rules of the elders. One day, Irene overhears an elder nun recounting her own chilling experience with Valak to the younger sisters. Though the elder nun carefully avoids mentioning Irene by name, the spectral presence of Valak lingers in the air, casting a shadow over them all. In another part of France, a man known as Maurice, affectionately called Frenchie, dedicates his days to his work at a boarding school. He shares a close friendship with the schoolteacher Kate and has formed a special bond with her daughter, Sophie. Within the school's walls, Sophie often becomes the target of teasing and bullying from her fellow classmates, and it's Maurice who consistently steps in as her protector, coming to her defense. The boarding school is overseen by the stern and unyielding Madame Laurent, a formidable woman known for her unrelenting demeanor. Beneath her tough exterior, Madame Laurent carries the weight of her own sorrow, mourning the loss of her son, Cedric, a tragedy that has left an indelible mark on her heart. In a nearby town, a young courier, innocent and unsuspecting, finds themselves in the clutches of an unholy presence. Alone and vulnerable, the child becomes the target of a malevolent force. Valak, the demonic entity, materializes, its sinister form looming over the child. In a horrifying moment, Valak seizes the child by the neck, the crack of bones echoing through the air. Meanwhile, Sister Irene is plagued by a disturbing dream. In this surreal vision, she follows Maurice down a shadowy alley, only to encounter a version of him distorted by demonic possession. Desperate and tormented, he calls out to Irene for salvation. Soon after, Irene is summoned to a meeting with Cardinal Conroy and other revered church elders. There, she learns of the gruesome deaths of Father Noir and several other church officials, all victims of mysterious and terrifying circumstances. It becomes painfully clear to Irene that Valak, the malevolent entity she once faced, has returned. Initially hesitant, when asked to investigate, Irene hesitates, but ultimately agrees. Fueled by a sense of duty and a thirst for answers, Irene resolves to confront the sinister force once more. Accompanying her is Sister Deborah, whose own motivations for aiding Irene are fueled by a personal tragedy. She lost her mother in a devastating fire ignited by racist hatred. United by their shared pain and determination, they embark on a harrowing journey to confront the darkness that has descended upon them. Back at the school, Sophie, still haunted by the previous bullying, is approached by the once mean girls, who feign remorse and invite her to play a sinister game. They lead her to a secluded chapel within the school, its atmosphere heavy with ancient secrets. Inside, they challenge her to stare at a mosaic depicting a goat, warning her that if she looks away, the devil will come for her. In the sunlight, the mosaic's goat's eyes glow a malevolent red. As the girls cruelly lock Sophie inside, she glimpses a terrifying vision of Valak. Thankfully, Maurice, the steadfast protector, hears Sophie's cries for help. He swiftly opens the door, reprimands the girls sternly, and comforts Sophie, leaving her in the care of Kate, the compassionate schoolteacher. Meanwhile, Irene and Deborah arrive in Tarascon, their search for answers leading them to Jack, the young witness to Father Nwart's gruesome demise. Seeking to understand the events surrounding the tragedy, Irene approaches Boy, who, still frightened, had taken a rosary from the fallen priest. However, a boy slips away into a bustling crowd of playful boys in the streets, eluding Irene's inquiries. In the silent depths of the night, Sister Irene finds herself wandering the dimly lit streets. As she passes by a seemingly ordinary newsstand, an eerie occurrence transpires. Magazines and newspapers spontaneously flip their pages, arranging themselves in a macabre pattern that bears a chilling resemblance to the sinister entity, Valak. A palpable sense of dread fills the air as Irene cautiously approaches the unsettling display. Suddenly, the lights overhead flicker erratically, casting eerie shadows across the pavement. In the midst of the flickering darkness, Valak materializes, launching a relentless assault on Irene. The encounter leaves Irene battered and unconscious, a victim of Valak's malevolence. It is Deborah who discovers Irene's fallen form and swiftly gets her the medical attention she urgently needs. Once Irene regains consciousness, she finds solace in a private conversation with Deborah. In this vulnerable moment, Irene opens up about her own mother, sharing the precious but limited memories she holds dear. Their exchange not only strengthens the bond between them, but also fuels Irene's determination to face the darkness that threatens not only their lives, but the very fabric of their existence. Through shared pain and resilience, the two nuns find strength in each other, forging ahead with renewed purpose, ready to confront whatever malevolent forces come their way. Within the confines of the school, Sophie's keen senses start to pick up on peculiar occurrences surrounding Morris. A growing unease settles over him as well, as both of them become acutely aware of the malevolent presence that seems to be closing in. Meanwhile, Madame Laurent, driven by concern and curiosity, ventures into the chapel alone. Word of Sophie's unsettling experience has piqued her interest, and she's determined to uncover the truth. In the dim light of the chapel, she is haunted by vivid illusions. The ghostly figure of her son, Cedric, appears before her, his voice echoing through the sacred space. Unbeknownst to her, it's not Cedric, but the deceitful lure of Valak, manipulating her vulnerable state. Tragically, Madame Laurent falls victim to the sinister trap set by Valak. The demonic entity seizes the opportunity, ensnaring her in a deadly grip, and in a chilling moment, her life is extinguished. The echoes of her demise reverberate through the empty chapel, a stark reminder of the evil that lurks within the shadows, growing stronger with each passing moment. In their relentless pursuit of understanding, the nuns journey to the historic city of Avignon, where they explore the Grand Palais des Papes. Here, they engage in a conversation with a knowledgeable librarian, delving into the dark lore surrounding Valak. The librarian reveals a chilling truth. Valak is in pursuit of a sacred artifact known as the Eyes, once belonging to Saint Lucy, the courageous martyr who miraculously survived being set ablaze. As the librarian continues their tale, it becomes apparent that the victims of this malevolent force were descendants of Saint Lucy herself. The Eyes, believed to possess formidable powers, were last documented in the annals of history within a monastery. Ironically, this very monastery has transformed over time into the very boarding school where the nuns now find themselves embroiled in a terrifying battle against the forces of darkness. Armed with this newfound knowledge, Sister Irene and Sister Deborah realize the gravity of their situation. The connection between the victims, the artifact, and the boarding school adds a sinister layer to their investigation as they prepare to face the malevolent entity, Valak, and safeguard the artifact from falling into the hands of pure evil. In the heart of the chaos, Irene and Deborah, driven by their determination and bravery, venture into the school, determined to locate and secure the powerful artifact, the Eyes, before Valak can unleash further havoc. Inside, the malevolent entity manipulates Frenchie, turning him into a vessel of darkness while conjuring a terrifying demon goat to attack the nuns and the frightened students. As the demonic onslaught begins, Deborah and Kate find themselves in the protective care of a larger group of girls, while Irene valiantly shields Sophie from the onslaught. The demon goat, under Valak's control, takes on the haunting form of the deceased Madame Laurent, using the girls' fears against them, terrorizing them in a relentless pursuit. Despite the chaos and destruction, a stroke of luck prevails as the collapsing bell tower miraculously avoids harming any of the girls. In the climactic confrontation, Irene discovers Morris in the grip of Valak's malevolent power. With unwavering determination, Irene attempts to use the power of the eyes, the sacred artifact, to exorcise Valak from her friend. Deborah, arriving just in time, joins Irene in the battle against the demonic force. A harrowing struggle ensues, and it seems as if Valak is successful in overpowering Morris, rendering him lifeless. Irene, heartbroken, begins to mourn her friend, but in a shocking turn of events, Morris springs back to life, now a vessel for Valak's true, terrifying form. The demon nun, fueled by rage and darkness, attempts to engulf Irene in flames. However, an unexpected revelation surfaces. Irene is a descendant of Saint Lucy, the very martyr to whom the eyes belonged. In a miraculous turn of fate, Irene's connection to her ancestry grants her immunity from the demon's fiery onslaught. With newfound determination, Irene, supported by Deborah, invokes the power of prayer. Their prayers, charged with faith and desperation, create a divine intervention. The wine in the room transforms into the sacred blood of Christ. The barrels containing this divine liquid explode, drenching Valak in the holy essence. The divine intervention proves overwhelming for Valak. Morris is saved from the clutches of Valak. The demon is banished back to the depths of hell, defeated by the unwavering faith and courage of Irene, Deborah, and the miraculous legacy of Saint Lucy. With the battle won, the darkness dissipates, leaving the school and its occupants in a state of eerie calm, the lingering echoes of the supernatural struggle fading away like a distant nightmare. As Morris, Kate, and Sophie find solace in their reunion, there is a sense of relief among them, a return to the semblance of normalcy. However, Irene, despite her happiness at seeing her friend restored, can't shake off the worry that lingers in her eyes. The horrors they faced have left a mark, a reminder of the darkness that lurks just beyond the veil of reality. Meanwhile, in the quiet moments of the movie credits, a phone call interrupts the stillness. On the other end, Father Gordon's voice carries a sense of urgency and trepidation. He informs Ed and Lorraine Warren, the seasoned paranormal investigators, about another haunting involving Valak. The call serves as a chilling reminder that the battle against the supernatural is far from over, hinting at new challenges and horrors on the horizon. The Warrens, undeterred by the daunting task ahead, prepare to face the darkness once more, their unwavering determination ready to confront whatever malevolent forces may arise in the future. If you found the recap entertaining, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing for more content.